is Saiti and you're watching Saiti's Interesting Vlogs. Hope you are doing absolutely fine and great. I'm doing great. So today we are going to talk about this concept socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution, where we have completed the part 1, and the part 1 we have completed this concept, that is socialism in Europe. So let us quickly revise what we learned. We learned about the different types of groups, that is liberals, radicals, conservatives. According to the political tradition, according to the change they want, they were divided into liberals, radicals, conservatives. We learned about these three groups, and if you haven't watched that video yet and directly came into part 2, I'll drop the link in the description. You can go and watch it. And then after liberals, radicals, conservatives, we talked about the coming of socialism in Europe, that is how did socialism enter into the Europe. But before that, we also learned about the industrial society and social change, because the society was changing in mid-19th century. We talked about that. And when the socialism entered into, how did the socialism enter into the Europe, that we thought. And the person who follows socialism concept is called as socialist, that also we learned. And we learned about 4 famous socialists, that is Louis Blanc, Robert Owen, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, what they wanted to do. So when Karl Marx is a main person, that also we spoke about it. And when the socialism entered into it, and the socialists also entered here. Now was the socialism supported, that also we studied. That is, they formed a second international where each and every country was having like a socialist party. Germany, we have seen about the Social Democratic Party, and in England we have seen this Labour Party by 1905, and in France we saw the Socialist Party. So we saw different parties, but till 1914 they never succeeded in creating a government based on this socialism, but they were able to make the legislation in the sense group of laws. They were able to do some group of laws, insert some group of laws in the government which is ruled by the liberals, radicals and conservatives. We talked about this everything in the previous video very detailedly. I'll drop the link in the description, go and check it. So we have talked about this. Now today we are going to start this. Now this chapter is done. Now this concept is done, socialism in Europe. And now also I am saying, why are these two concepts to interlink? Yes, the main purpose they have added this socialism in Europe is to give us an idea about this socialism, because in this Russian Revolution we come across this word socialism so many times. To be thorough with the socialism concept, they have been providing us this socialism in Europe, that concept. So now today we are going to start this Russian Revolution. So before getting into this, yesterday I received a comment named that how to write our notes. So first of all, I provide you one tip: not writing the notes. First we have to understand the concept and then write the notes. The tip is like we have to follow r to the power of 5. We must follow r to the power of 5. Now what is this r to the power of 5? The first thing in this r to the power of 5 is read. First read the concept thoroughly, understand the concept. Then you have to refer. You have to refer other books. Third, you have to recite. That is, you have to read it loud for getting it into your memory. And fourth, you have to again reread. In this reread only you have to do the reproduction. Reproduction in the sense, not that reproduction. That is, you have to write it in your notebook. So first of all, let me explain this r to the power of 5. First is read. If suppose this Russian Revolution is only there, this concept, first you have to read this chapter completely. And if it may take 2 days also, this is a big chapter, because we can't afford a complete day only for one chapter. So first of all, we have to read the complete chapter. And after reading the complete chapter, we have to refer it once again. Like, not referring in the sense, not that book only, we have to do some referring in other books. We have to find some more information regarding it. So we have to refer the concept from other books. Like for our social, they provided one more resource book for referring the concept. And even for this biology, physics, chemistry also our school provided it. So like that we have to refer other books, and then we have to recite. Recite in the sense, read a concept, that may be a passage or poem, we have to read it aloud, okay, to get it to our memory. So that we have to do, that is recite. And the next one is reread. Now after referring, you got a lot of information about this concept, because you have referred other textbooks, other notebooks, so you have got a lot of knowledge about it. you have also recited it, you have also read it aloud, and then you have to reread the complete chapter once again, and then you have to make the notes. This is the process of the R to the power of 5, which we each and everyone must follow, and mostly 10th people and 9th people also must follow this. Okay, if they follow this, like even I am following it. So this is me who is saying you all to do it. I am your friend. Okay, so I am saying you this everything. R to the power of 5 is the best methodology to follow. And notes, if you have to talk about notes, note taking is a very simple process. Like what you have to do, now you have read the chapter till here, you done read, refer, recite, reread. Now when you have a rereading, what you do, there would be some hard words which we don't know the meaning at all. First, highlight the word, note down the meaning in your notebook, notes taking book. So what you do, don't write the complete passage, write only the shortcut forms, that is main important points which we must remember. Write those points, and apart from that, apart from writing those points, what you do, you understand the meaning of each and every word. Okay, so while you're writing, suppose the change was inevitable. So here inevitable is a word which was confusing to us. So inevitable, what you do in your notebook, you just highlight it, and what you do, you just write the meaning there itself. So whenever we are reading the chapter, this notes, then we will get a brief idea, because meanings only have some information about the concept. So we have to be thorough with the meanings. And notes, as I said, write only the important points, and if you want, you can watch some other YouTube videos. Now even you can watch mine also to get a quick idea about some adequate information. You can watch, and while reciting whatever points you get, you have to add them in your note-taking book. So that's it. Now let us end this concept. Now let us move on to the concept, our concept, that is the Russian Revolution. So let us see what are the main concepts. Let me erase this, and then let us see what are the concepts which we are going to cover in our today's video. Today's video may be too long, but no worries, because if it is too long also, just don't take tension, because we are going to cover this chapter so clearly. Okay, so let's get into today's video. So let us see the concepts first. So you can see about this Russian Revolution, the concepts. The first concept is about the Russian Empire, that is in 1914. Before 1914, why after 1914, what happened to this Russian Empire? Who took over the Russian Empire? Actually, the Russian Empire was in a monarch. That everything we'll talk now. First, let us see. Before 1914, how was the Russian Empire? That is before revolution, how was the Russian Empire, Russia's society, Russia's economy? We are going to talk it. Before the revolution, what happened? Why did the revolution outbreak? What was the reason for the outbreak of the revolution? We are going to talk about that everything. Okay, and one more thing we will be seeing about the socialism in Russia. Now socialism, it was widely spread in complete Europe. Completely in Europe it got spread. And now the socialism also entered the Russia. Socialism got widespread in Russia very quickly. Okay, many people started talking about the socialism idea. And next is Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. So Bolsheviks and Mensheviks, these words are a little bit confusing because they are in our Russian language. And while talking about that concept, I will say what does the Bolsheviks and Mensheviks mean in our English language. So next is a turbulent time, 1905 revolution. A turbulent time. Now only I will say what this meaning is a little bit confusing. A turbulent in the sense not stable. Okay. So many incidents took place, so that is called as turbulent. That is, it was not stable, the condition was not stable. So a turbulent time, 1905 revolution. Okay, 1905 revolution, a turbulent time. And then we are going to talk about in this only we are going to cover about the Bloody Sunday. Next is impact of 1905 revolution. Impact of 1905 revolution. As I said, 1905 revolution, the series of events, 1905 revolution. Whatever took place, what was the impact of 1905 revolution? What happened? The Tsar Nicholas II prepared a parliament called as Duma, and he was like, dreadful leader. Next, after that, what happened in 1914? So here in 1914, we are going to talk about the First World War. When did the First World War took place and when did it end? I'll say you. Now, I'll say you. The First World War took place in 20th July. So the First World War took place in 20th July 1914 and it ended in November 11th, 1918. So when the First World War took place, the Tsar Nicholas II, who was also losing his power, was losing his speciality in the country, and through the February Revolution in Petrograd, we are going to talk how did the Tsar come out of his monarch, that is how did he come out of his throne. Now before that, let us see about the First World War and what was the impact of First World War, that also we are going to see. Now because of this First World War only, Tsar Nicholas II lost his power. So now let us first talk about the Russian Empire. तो शुरू करते हैं आज की हमारी वीडियो Russian Empire से. Yeah, so the Russian Empire before 1914, how it was ruled by this king, aristocracy, autocratic rule he was doing. The Tsar Nicholas II, who was ruling the complete Russia, he was under this autocratic rule that what he will say the country should follow. What he would do, these people should also do the same thing. Like according to his order, the people should work. So each and every person was not happy with this. Yes or no? If someone is ruling you, then how will you feel? Obviously very sad, no? In the same way, the citizens were very sad. Now the monarchy came down. That is came down यानी कि नीचे नहीं गिर जाता. वो एक बिल्डिंग में या नीचे गिर जाने के लिए monarchy came down यानी कि monarchy खत्म हो गया. Because in February 1917, the monarchy fell down because of the February Revolution in Petrograd. Okay, Petrograd. And then we are going to talk about this October Revolution because socialists took over the government, namely as provisional government, they took over the government in October Revolution. Okay, that also we are going to study in this Russian Empire. Now what we are going to talk is the Russian Empire. यानी कि वो रशिया को कौन रूल कर रहा था? एम्पायर कौन था? Tsar Nicholas II. So he was ruling. Now Russia and its empire, that is रशिया के बीच में जो कुछ भी कंट्रीज है वो सब कुछ रशिया के नीचे आएंगे, जैसे कि Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus and Brazil, parts of Poland, Estonia. These many countries come under this Russian Empire, like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia. Like these all countries come under the Russian Empire, and mainly this is a diversity in Russia, but you say Russia was mainly consisting of the Orthodox Christianity. Orthodox Russian Christianity. So mainly the religion was this only, but there was a good diversity in Russia because there was Catholics, that is the Muslims who follow Islam. So Catholics, Protestants, Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, everybody were available in Russia. So we can see that Russia was a diversity country. So that was all about the Russian Empire. How was the Empire of Russia before 1914? Now, how was Russia's economy before 1914? Actually, Russia's economy, if you have to talk, Russia's economy was completely agricultural economy. Agricultural sector को follow करता है वो. Agriculturalist economy, 85% of the people depend upon the agricultural sector only, and cultivators, जो कुछ भी cultivators होते थे, their cultivators used to produce for themselves and even for the market. यानी कि उनको भी तो खाना खाने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ होना जाना चाहिए ना, सब कुछ मार्केट के लिए लगा दे तो वो क्या खाएंगे? तो cultivators produce for themselves as well as for them market also. And apart from that, industries were found in pockets. क्या इंडस्ट्री मेरे पॉकेट में है? मुझे दिखा नहीं दे रहा. अरे यार, इंडस्ट्रीज वर फाउंड इन पॉकेट्स यानी कि एक इडियम है दोस्तों. इंडस्ट्रीज वर फाउंड इन पॉकेट्स इन द सेंस इंडस्ट्रीज वर वेरी लेस एट दैट टाइम. Okay, industries were very less and the situation was so sad and the workers' economy was so less. Now suddenly in 1890s what happened? The railways started expanding. Now when the railways started expanding, the industry started growing because of the more foreign investment. तो आप लोग सोच सकते हो कि अगर यार रेलवेज एक्सपैंड हो गए तो ये अगर रेलवेज एक्सपैंड हो गए तो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे एक्सपैंड होगा. देखो, रेलवेज इफ दे आर एक्सपैंडेड then the transportation will be increased. So from other countries they can produce the goods, or they can be transporting the goods from their country to their country to here. Now the country A can produce their products in country B also. So that is the reason why. Okay. So when they started increasing their production started producing, obviously foreign investment started increasing, and when the foreign investment started increasing, obviously industries will increase. Now, as I said, in Europe, when the industry started increasing in 19th century, obviously there were some advantages and disadvantages also. Like disadvantages were that long working hours for the people, they used to work for a long time, and some minimum wages were not given, very low wages were given. So here, the same situation happened. In Russia also, the same situation. Same as in Europe. Now when this industry started growing, obviously the profit would go to whom? The industrial owner. Private property किसका है? Industrial owner. So industrial owner को ही सब कुछ profit तो बढ़ रहा है. Profit maximization is there. But the complete profit was going to whom? The profit was going to the industrial owner only. क्या कर सकते हैं वो लोग? तो क्या हुआ, वर्कर्स के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने इंश्योर किया कि गवर्नमेंट वर्क टू इंश्योर गुड वर्किंग वेजेस एंड इवन good working hours up to 8 hours, but often those rules were completely broken in the industries, and they were doing very long hours and they were getting very less wages. So this happened mainly, okay, this was very common, and this was all about the Russian economy. How was it? What happened in 1890? Suddenly, why did this investment increased? Why was the economy risen up? But the only profiters who got it is industrial owners got their main profit, but the others did not get their own profit. Okay, the workers who used to produce the work did not get main profit. Government ensured it, but often these rules were broken in the industries. So now that was all about the Russian economy, how it is. Now talking about the Russian society. Okay, Russian society. एक मिनट में बुक में दिखाती हूँ, कुछ पिक्चर्स है इधर. तो आप लोग इधर हमारे एनसीईआरटी टेक्स्ट बुक में देख सकते हो कि ये कौन है, सान निकोलस II, who used to rule in Russia very badly, same as this Louis XVI, and this is a map which is very useful for the further one, like for the February Revolution in Petrograd, this one is very useful. Like for the World War also it's very useful. Why did the Russia lost so much army badly? That also we will talk. And here you can see this is like the unemployed peasants. Okay, that was all about this economy. See, they used to work for long hours, but the situation was in this way, and they used to sleep in the bunkers in the sense dirty rooms. They were very small rooms, so they used to sleep in bunkers. Okay, they slept in shifts and could not keep their families with them because they have to work, because the industries increased. So when the industries increased, obviously they have to work for long hours for producing more. So next is now talking about the Russian society. So we have talked about the Russian Empire done, Russian economy done. Now अभी हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं Russian society के बारे में. कैसा थी Russian society before the revolution? तो Russian society mostly, if we talk about the Russian society mainly the workers migrated from village and settled in cities. Why? Because countryside में तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा, इसीलिए वो अर्बन साइड आए हैं. उसके बारे में भी पढ़ेंगे countryside में क्या हुआ था कि वो लोग इधर वर्कर्स विलेज से सिटीज में आ चुके हैं. सो वर्कर्स माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम विलेज एंड मेनली दे वर डिवाइडेड अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर स्किल, यानी कि वो कितना काम कर सकता है, उसमें कितना टैलेंट है, कितना स्किल है, उसको देखकर ये लोग उनको डिवाइड कर रहे थे. एंड दे वर डिवाइडेड बाय स्किल. एंड मेटल वर्कर्स यूज्ड टू थिंक देम एज ऑटोक्रेट्स, यानी कि दे यूज्ड टू फॉलो अरिस्टोक्रेट्स बिकॉज the work of them is somewhat high, the skill of work in them was somewhat high, so they used to think that they should be given more importance. As they were divided by skill, it was high-tech work. Now first let us talk about our women. So women, they made up for 31%. They made up for 31% in the 1914, like not 1914. In 1914 what happened, they made up to 31% completely women ही थे इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करने के लिए, सोसाइटी इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करने के लिए. बट they were provided with very less wages. They were having very less wages. That is the reason why they were, if they even they are 31% also, they were getting very less wages because they used to think that women should be always engaged in the household work chores. So they have to not get this much salary for this work purpose. Okay, so they used to think like that. Next thing, The next thing is like what happened. Even if they are divided by skill, they unitedly did the work and put a strike on this industrial owners. इंडस्ट्रियल ओनर्स प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी पे उन्होंने एक स्ट्राइक लगा दी कि हमको अगर अच्छे वेजेस मिलेंगे तभी हम लोग वर्क करेंगे आपके लिए, ठीक है, तभी हम लोग वर्क करेंगे आपके लिए, यानी कि हम लोग नहीं वर्क करेंगे। तो उन्होंने स्ट्राइक कर दी इंडस्ट्रियल ओनर पे। तो क्या हुआ था, एग्जाम्पल आई विल गिव यू, लाइक फॉर इंडस्ट्री में, like in the strike in textile industry, strike in metal industry, these were all different types of strikes which took place. Now what happened, they demanded further good working hours and limited minimum wages. Okay, according to the work done, we should be provided with minimum wages. No, we are also humans only, we also have families. If you give those little wages, how can our families survive? Okay, because as they were sleeping in bunkers, okay, they were suffering. Now they were suffering in the sense their family should not survive, not suffer like that. So just put a strike on this industrial owner regarding this. Now what happened? Now this was society in this urban side. Now what about the rural side? अर्बन साइड वर्कर्स विलेज से अर्बन साइड आ गए थे, रूरल साइड में क्या परिस्थिति थी? सो पीजेंट्स यूज्ड टू कल्टिवेट द लैंड, peasants used to cultivate the land, but most of the land belongs to this nobles, crown and orthodox Christianity, that is a church. The land used to belong to them, but they used to cultivate, but they were not getting good wages at all. But you see, the peasants were not giving so much respect to the nobles as they used to. Like workers only, this peasants were also divided by skill, but in this peasants used to not give so much respect to the nobles as they used to give in the French Revolution, ब्रिटानिटी में, यानी कि फ्रांस के पीसेंट्स क्या करते थे, नॉबल्स के लिए फाइट करते थे, नॉबल्स को बहुत ज्यादा रेस्पेक्ट करते थे, पर पीसेंट्स यूज्ड टू not give this much respect to them, because peasants, they wanted the land on which they are cultivating. The land on which they were cultivating, the land was completely of the nobles only. They wanted the land of the nobles because the land was being cultivated by them and everything goes to them nobles. तो इसीलिए उनको nobles की land चाहिए, इसीलिए वो इतना respect नहीं देते थे nobles के लिए, nobles के लिए इतना respect नहीं देते थे. So that was thing. And one more thing, this Russian peasants, what they used to do, they were completely different from the European peasants. कैसे European peasants से different है, वो भी peasants है, ये भी peasants है, पर peasants तो है, पर work में तो difference आएगा ही आएगा. तो देखो, Russian peasants, what they do, they will combine the land together. That is, like combine the complete land. They will pool the land and they will divide according to the work done. Okay, according to the profit they got, they will divide the profit according to the work done, according to the individual needs. यानी कि अगर वो individual बहुत ही बुरा परिस्थिति में है, यानी कि like the condition of that family is so bad, then what they used to do, they used to give some more profit, more amount to that person. If the other person family is okay, limited, full, good, then they used to give some according to the work he has done, they used to give it. But if the family is suffering with some economically very bad issues, they used to give some more salary to that person. So this was everything happened. So they were completely different as European peasants. यानी कि European peasants से सब कुछ नहीं करते थे, इसलिए Russian peasants were completely different from the European peasants. ठीक है, तो ये था हम लोग बातचीत कर लिए रशियन इकोनॉमी के बारे में, रशियन सोसाइटी के बारे में. तो जल्दी से इसका क्विकली रिविजन कर लेते हैं. क्या पढ़ी थी हम लोगों ने? रशियन एम्पायर बिफोर 1914, यानी कि रशियन इकोनॉमी एंड रशियन सोसाइटी के बारे में हम लोग पढ़ी थी. रशियन एम्पायर में देखा था सान निकोलस II रूल कर रहा था इधर, और हम लोगों ने देखा था लथीवा, लिथुआनिया, इस्टोनिया, पार्ट्स ऑफ पोलैंड, ब्राजील, Azerbaijan, this everything these all countries come under the Russian Empire. ठीक है, Russian Empire के नीचे ये सभी countries आते थे. And apart from that, we also studied about the Russian economy. That is how 85% of the people depend upon this economy. Only cultivators used to produce for themselves and even for their family members also. And also we discussed about how in 1890 how suddenly they got increased, the industry started increasing because the industry once was found in pockets, यानी कि जेब में नहीं, यार जेब में pockets नहीं, Industries were found in pockets, in the sense industries were very less, but suddenly in 1890s when the railways got expanded, foreign investment increased. When the foreign investment increased, obviously the industries should be large enough, यानी कि इंडस्ट्रीज थोड़ा बहुत ज्यादा होना चाहिए ताकि वो प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं ये फॉरेन के गुड्स, यानी कि बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रीज से आते थे गुड्स, तो उसको प्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए. तो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इंक्रीज, बट द कंप्लीट प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन यूज्ड टू गो टू द इंडस्ट्रियल ओनर ओनली. एंड व्हेन द गवर्नमेंट सेड दैट दे हैव टू बी प्रोवाइडेड गुड वेजेस एंड minimum hours of working, but often the rules were broken in that, and he used to sleep in bunkers, as I have showed you the picture also in your NCERT textbook also it is there. Now what happened next? So हम लोगों ने बहुत ही क्लियरली पढ़ी थी रशियन इकोनॉमी के बारे में. तो रशियन इकोनॉमी क्रिस्टल क्लियर, रशिया एम्पायर भी क्रिस्टल क्लियर. अभी रशियन सोसाइटी के बारे में अभी पढ़े थे हम लोग, यानी कि रशियन सोसाइटी वर्कर्स migrated from village and settled in city. They were divided by skill. Metal workers used to think that they were like somewhat high position, and apart from that what happened, even if they divided by skill, they did the work, like they unitedly put a strike on this industrial owner. Now when they put the strike on industrial owner for a good wages and good limited working hours, they put a strike, they unitedly did the strike. तो वो जो कुछ हुआ, यानी कि स्ट्राइक इन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, स्ट्राइक इन मेटल इंडस्ट्री, कुछ एग्जांपल्स है. उसके बाद ये द पोजीशन ऑफ द यानी कि सोसाइटी वन साइड में, और कंट्री साइड में कैसा था सोसाइटी का. कंट्री साइड में पीजेंट्स यूज्ड टू कल्टिवेट द लैंड, बट द लैंड ऑन द लैंड ऑफ द नॉबल्स, ऑर्थोडॉक्स क्रिश्चियनिटी एंड द क्राउन पीपल. So actually they did not give so much respect to the nobles because they wanted the land of the nobles, and the Russian peasants were completely different from the European peasants. Why they were completely different? Because they combined the land, and according to the individual needs they used to give the money profit to them. So that was all about we studied in the Russian society. अभी हम लोग बातचीत करने वाले हैं सोशलिज्म इन रशिया. तो यूरोप में बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से स्प्लिट हो गया था. तो अभी रशिया, सोशलिज्म इन रशिया, हाउ डिड द सोशलिज्म स्प्रेड इन रशिया, दैट वी विल टॉक अबाउट इट नाउ.